Welcome to the For Purpose podcast. In this, we meet with leaders who are driven by purpose and we bring in leaders who are driving for purpose organizations. And the whole idea is to have a conversation around the individual purpose and the organization purpose and understand the holistic play between individual and organizational purpose. I'm thankful today to have Suresh in the room. Hi, Suresh.
Yeah, good to be here, Dave.
Suresh, before we get onto the conversation on purpose, could you briefly share with our listeners and viewers about your background and your experience?
I guess if you went back to the very start of it, I was born in Singapore. When I was 3 months old, we moved to Brunei. And my dad was a school teacher and he got a job in Brunei as a school teacher. Went through to the age of 10 in Brunei, went through a number of schools there. And then Dad decided that I needed to learn something about my own culture and sent me off to boarding school in Bangalore in India. So I went from age of 10 through to 15 in school in Bangalore. The idea was to teach me something about my culture, but I think he chose the wrong school for that. The school that he chose was a school that is very highly regarded in India, but it was up until 1947, India's independence, it actually was a whites-only school. So it was only for the British Raj. And our school was called Bishop Cotton School.
Okay.
And our houses were Pakenham Walsh and Pettigrew, terribly English. You know, we wore blazers and caps to school. I learned French as a second language, so I really didn't learn a lot about my own culture other than the fact that I was living in that culture. And so I did up to the age of 15 there, did my Indian Certificate of Secondary Education, the ICSC. And then Dad decided we'd try and bring the family back together. He was in Brunei. We were in India, my brother and myself and my sister. Came out to Perth. So came here in 1975, 47 years ago. Went to school at City Beach Senior High School, did my year 11 and 12 there, and then went on to do my bachelor's degree, my Bachelor of Commerce. Got a job at the ATO, tax office. So I'm an accountant by profession and worked in the tax office for 7.5 years. Couldn't stand it after that point and left there. While I was there, I did my master's degree as well, did my MBA. And I got to a level in a very short space of time where the only thing I could count on to go further up in the hierarchy was for my supervisor to die. And, that was the only way you're going to get promoted. So it was one of those positions I thought, I need to get out of here. Joined with a few friends of mine who... We all did our MBAs together and we went out and formed a financial planning business. And around about then, I started doing some work on radio. Radio is a fantastic medium. I started working on 6PR, doing lots and lots of stuff around finance and so on, and built up quite a following on radio. We also built our business from... 0 funds under management when we started. And ultimately, when I left there many years later, we had built up a portfolio of $250 million on behalf of clients. So it was huge. It was one of the biggest firms around. Went from there to, and towards the end of my career in financial planning, I started to get involved with the Ethnic Communities Council. And they're a peak body advocating for people from a culturally and linguistically diverse background, and started to do a lot more work. And I actually got to the point where I was enjoying that so much that I was putting in about 40 to 50 hours a week into that while still running my financial planning business. And that wasn't going to be sustained, nor was it sustainable. So I had to make a decision. And I handed over my business to my partners and left there in 2007 and started working in the community sector at that point. So I started working I started working at the Ethnic Communities Council, not just being on the board, and then got involved with the Ethnic Disability Advocacy Centre and ultimately the ECCWA, the Ethnic Communities Council, had its funding withdrawn by the Barnett government. And so I was looking around for something that I could do that was different. And I came across the Epilepsy Association. I thought about it, and epilepsy was another condition, impacting on about 25,000 people in WA, and something that I could advocate for. So I'd learned my advocacy skills at ECCWA, came and applied that at Epilepsy WA. I still hold as one of my my major achievements at Epilepsy WA the fact that we were able to get medical marijuana as a treatment for epilepsy in WA. Alana McTiernan, the Member of Parliament, indicated in Federal Parliament not long ago that the only reason we have medical marijuana as a treatment here in WA for people with epilepsy is because of the work that I did.